Welcome back to part 2 of my mini watercolor patriotic series. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this cupcake with red and blue sprinkles. Let's get started. All right, first things first, you're going to draw out your cupcake in pencil. You can look up on Pinterest, easy cupcake illustration, and a ton of options will pop up. So if you want to, you could look up that and copy that. Then you're going to mix up some yellow ochre and burnt sienna. You're going to make a light shade of that, and you're going to start shading in the bottom of the cupcake. And then I dragged that color up in each crease and each individual section. As you can see here on the right side of the cupcake, my lines that are going up are to the left of the section. And then on the left side of the cupcake, my lines going up are on the right side of the cupcake. Then I mixed up some light gray and I put that in each individual section, leaving some white space. Then I took a darker shade of the burnt sienna and yellow ochre and I was just adding in some shading, so I just put that in each crease. Next, I started on the icing for my cupcake. I mixed up a super light gray and outlined the whole thing in light gray, and then I just added in some shadows. I also put in some yellow ochre, very, very light. Then I went in and added more shadows to my cupcake liner. I put in some darker gray in those creases. Then I went in and shaded in my cupcake. I just used a super light value of the yellow ochre and burnt sienna. Next, I went in and added some more shadows. I just added a darker gray, a darker brown to the cupcake liner, and then I also added some more shadows to the icing. Just a tip, when you're adding dark shadows, clean your brush off after you add the shadow and then go in with a clean brush and just buff those lines out. But the final step is adding in your sprinkles. I did red and blue for the 4th of July, but that was it. Thanks so much for watching.